A promise of home. Geeti stared at her open suitcase and sighed. Her clothes were a wrinkled mess. Shirts twisted up with socks, her favorite dress all bunched up in the corner. She grabbed another sweater and stuffed it on top. "You're doing it all wrong," Lalita said, holding up a perfectly folded shirt. Every piece of clothing in her suitcase looked like it came from a store display. "Not everyone has to be perfect," Geeti muttered, shoving a pair of pants into the already full case. Outside their window, cars were pulling up to take other girls home. She could hear excited voices and see families hugging their daughters. Car doors slammed as girls left with their parents for summer break. Lalita's neat suitcase sat in the corner, all ready to go. Looking at it made Geeti's stomach hurt. She hated this time of the year. "When are you leaving?" Geeti asked, trying to sound like she didn't care. "Maybe tomorrow morning," Lalita said, folding another shirt. "My mom and dad are coming to get me." Geeti nodded and picked up a wrinkled sweater. She had spent the last 2 breaks with her aunt, a woman who worked all day and barely talked to her. The only fun part was her aunt's tiny yappy dog who followed Geeti everywhere. Soon the dorm would be almost empty. Just Geeti and maybe 1 or 2 other girls whose parents wouldn't come right away. Lalita looked up from her packing. She must have noticed how quiet Geeti had gotten. "Hey," Lalita said softly, "I know you don't like holidays much. What if you come to my house next break? I could ask my parents." Geeti's eyes went wide. Her heart started beating fast. "Really? You'd ask them?" "Of course." Lalita smiled. "You are my best friend. I don't want you to be all alone." The idea of a real family holiday, one with homemade food and festival decorations and people who wanted her there, seemed too good to be true. Geeti tried not to get too excited, but she couldn't help grinning. She threw her arms around Lalita and hugged her tight. Lalita always smells like the jasmine oil she put in her hair. "If I come to your house, can I sleep in your room?" Geeti asked, pulling back with a big smile. "Geeti," Lalita laughed and pushed her away playfully. "You can't take over my whole room." Geeti spotted her sketchbook on her desk and got an idea. She flipped through the pages. There was a drawing of all the girls in their dorm, funny pictures of their teachers, especially Mrs. Dunlop with a super long nose, and lots of sketches of Lalita. She tore out a folded piece of paper and held it out. "I made this for you." "What is it this time? A monster?" Lalita asked with a grin. "No, it's a dragon. Dragons aren't monsters." Lalita opened the paper and burst out laughing. The dragon looked more like something from a funny cartoon than a scary story. Its wings were way too big for its body. Its tails curled around like a question mark. And its face was more silly than scary. "I love it," Lalita said. "I'll put it on my wall at home. It can be our friendship dragon." "Really?" Geeti bounced on her toes. "Thanks!" "Come here. Let me help you pack," Lalita said, walking over to Geeti's messy pile of clothes. "At this rate, you'll be packing until midnight." As Lalita helped her fold everything properly, Geeti couldn't help thinking about spending the next break with a real family. It seemed like a dream, a house where people laughed together and made special meals and cared about each other, just like her parents did. "You'll really ask your parents?" Geeti asked again. She needed to hear it one more time. "I promise," Lalita said without stopping her folding. "They'll say yes, they're really nice. You'll love them." Geeti nodded, but didn't say anything else. She didn't want to jinx it by getting too excited. But deep down, the thought of finally having a place where she belonged made her feel warm all over. Outside, the sun was already setting. It got dark so early in Shimla. Tomorrow, more girls were leaving their families. But for the first time ever, Geeti felt excited about what the holidays might bring. Maybe this time would be different. Maybe this time she wouldn't have to stay with that aunt.